Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Starting off locally here in Trinidad and Tobago, Member of Parliament for Mayaro Nicholas Morris has welcomed Cabinet's approval to construct 2 tank farms and a desalination plant in the Mayaro Constituency to address ongoing water supply challenges. He said, since assuming office in 2025, improving water supply in the constituency has been on the front burner, together with the Minister of Public Utilities, Barry Padarath. Following a constituency-wide tour with WASA in 2025, a number of new projects were identified and commenced, including one in Oilfield Road and Pema. This, he said, has now led to the announcement of the tank farms, which will assist in boosting the water supply. However, in the interim, MP Morris said he is working with the minister to ensure issues of water schedule, low pressure, and rotation are addressed. Now, this is supposed to be, once again, this is supposed to be good news, people? Good news. The UNC is trying their best to resolve our water shortage issue that we have been plagued with for decades after decades due to PNM's neglect. And yet patriots from all throughout Trinidad and Tobago, whether it be PNM patriots or independent patriots, are now saying that, the desalination plant is a bad idea because it's going to cost too much money. We are living on an island surrounded by water. I'm sounding as though I'm speaking to preschool children right now. We have limited amount of land, limited amount of resources. How much wells do you want to drill? Now, I'm not saying don't drill wells, but how much? We're going to build all these wells, my dear patriots, in the back of people's house, by the latrine? No, I want to know. I'm asking a question. Where exactly are you going to drill these wells all throughout Trinidad and Tobago to ensure that when we have an extended dry season, a long dry season, and a rainy season that isn't really that rainy, has a lot of dry spells in it, what is going to take place? Don't you think that those same wells are going to dry up as well? I mean, come on, people. Everything, since this government has come into office, everything is just a negativity from the PNM patriots and the independent patriots. Unlike myself, I criticize when it is when they deserve to be criticized. I will say it over and again. I do not agree with the taxes, fees, and fines and the duties. I don't, and I will never agree with it. And I don't agree with imposing an SOE in order to combat crime. Crime is a ongoing issue, a long-term issue, and therefore you cannot solve anything by using an SOE. Otherwise, you will have to keep an SOE in place for the next 4 years. So, of course, I have issues with the government, but they're doing a whole lot of good too. So why we can't just be normal-minded people and stop putting politics into everything and commend the government, applaud the government when they're doing something good, because they're addressing an issue that has been a crisis in our country for many years. People go for months upon months without water in their taps in many areas throughout Trinidad and Tobago, and yet we are an island surrounded by water. Why must that be?
All right, yeah. Okay, ready. Hi, I am Nicholas Morris, the Member of Parliament for Mayaro and Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister. Today I'd like to thank the Honourable Prime Minister, Honourable Kamala Prasad Visasa SC, as well as the Minister of Public Utilities, Honourable Barry Padarath, for the announcement that the constituency of Mayaro would be receiving tank farms, as well in the long term they're receiving a desalination plant. This announcement is great for the water supply issues of the Mayaro constituency. In the last year, the Minister of Public Utilities has been working with us in the Mayaro constituency to ensure that we can improve the water supply for constituents. There are a number of issues that still continue to occur, but the Minister of Public Utilities and the team at WASA have been working with us. We have seen in the constituency already a number of new projects, such as an Oilfield Road, where you have pipelines being laid. So people within the Mayaro constituency who have never had a supply of water are receiving the opportunity to have that supply of water. But today was a significant announcement. Because of the issues we face in that constituency, the announcement of tank farms by the Minister of Public Utilities and WASA will greatly aid us in our water supply within the constituency, and the announcement of the desalination plant will also help us to be very sufficient, will help us to be have a proper water supply. So we thank the Honourable Prime Minister for her vision to ensure public services are improved. In just 1 year, the people of Mayaro are now on track to receive projects which can improve the vital part of their lives. So again, thank you to the Minister and the Prime Minister. And the people of Mayaro can now expect tank farms to improve their water supply, as well as a new desalination plant, which will come on stream in the near future.
Consultant physician and CNC3s, PNM3s asked the doctor. Host Dr. Joel Tiloxing is warning that the ongoing dispute between nurses and the management at the North Central Regional Health Authority, NCRHA, highlights deeper systemic issues in Trinidad and Tobago's public health care system. Well, it was a system built by the PNM, you know. PNM love to take credit for everything. Well, they were in office for more than, 45 years. So yes, it is the PNM's fault. My response: you're wrong, Doc, when it pertains to this issue with the NCRHA, though. It shows how bold-faced Trinis are. The NCRHA violated terms and conditions of the 75 hourly rate, which was set by the CPO under the PNM. Yes, I have no issue with any public servants seeking an increase in their salaries, but protesting for something that doesn't belong to you at this point in time is complete and utter nonsense. That is what it is. Most of the nurses were supposed to be paid $60 per hour when they're doing extra duties. Individuals that were working in the ICU and other very complicated departments were supposed to be paid the $75 hourly rate. And correct me if I'm wrong, that is still the agreement to this very day. Those that are working in those departments will still be paid the 75-hour rate. But at the end of the day, those that are working in just the normal areas are going to start back to be paid $60 an hour. That is what the agreement states by the CPO. And the CPO also stated that there was a time when they were requesting that everyone get the 75 hourly rate. And he said, no, he denied. He said, no, you cannot get that. Because the higher rate is there for a purpose. It's for nurses that have to be working under much harsher conditions, more complicated conditions. And that's why they were being paid more. Fair is fair, people. Now, if it is you want the 75-hour rate to become the new basic rate or the flat rate, then fine. But you don't have to be protesting about that. You go through the proper channels and you do your negotiations. That's what you need to do, people. That's what you need to do. But no, give PNM an opportunity to protest against the government and they will do so. And at this point in time, I'm telling you, it appears that way, that the NCRHA is being used by the PNM to be authors of confusion. Police are once again urging the public to be wary of scams where people are asked to deposit money to strangers in exchange for items advertised as being for sale after a 30-year-old pharmacist was tricked out of $8,000. $8,000 might sound small to the big shot on them. It's a lot of money for the common man, eh? Police said the man responded to an advertisement on Facebook Marketplace at a Nissan Bluebird selfie for sale on Wednesday. The victim reportedly contacted the number provided in the advertisement, who advised them to deposit $4,000 in cash to a bank account. 1 day later, a stranger who identified him as the owner of the vehicle for sale instructed him to deposit another $4,000 in cash to the same account, which he did. However, the victim reported that the stranger blocked him on WhatsApp and was unable to contact the person since. Officers of the fraud squad and the Western Division are continuing inquiries. My response: why would you make those payments to a stranger without receiving the product first, people? We're not talking about an established online business that can be located by the authorities if an incident like this occurs. We are talking about the random person online. Now, I'm not saying, listen to me, there are a lot of genuine individuals that are selling their second-hand items or even brand new items online and using the Facebook Marketplace and whatsoever. But you have to be careful. Number one, do not ever give no payment. Don't send any money to anybody's bank accounts. Number one. Number two, if it is you do have to go and meet up with the person, ensure that it's a public place where there's a whole lot of people. A lot of people. The best place to do it is by a police station. That is the best place. You don't just go and meet them in some little enclosed corner somewhere, some little abandoned place. People telling you, meet me up this street and meet me up that street. Why it is you will go in Laventille and Beetham and those kind of places to purchase anything? Why, when you know those are high-risk areas? Now, this is not what happened in this place, in this particular instance. This person was robbed online. He went and go on and deposit money to people, and you hadn't even received the product yet. That is craziness, people. That is craziness. But of course, there are legitimate online businesses. But those businesses as well, a lot of the times they use courier services and so forth to be able to collect the monies. And as I said before, those are well-established businesses. So in case somebody doesn't receive their products, they can easily go and make a complaint to the police and say, well, so-and-so business that is registered or so-and-so business that has been in operation for X amount of years, and everybody knows about them, and people basically know where they are located and so forth. You can be able to go and make an official complaint, but these random people, how you will do that? You don't know where that person from, who they are, and you just deposited money in the bank account. Come on, people, we need to use wisdom outside here.
Weather forecast, Trinidad and Tobago. Date, Sunday, April 5, 2026. Overview. Expect a wet and occasionally breezy day across both islands. Periods of light to moderate showers are likely throughout the day, with a 30 to 40% chance of heavy showers or isolated thunderstorms, particularly during the late morning and afternoon. Temperatures. Trinidad, Piarco, high 30 degrees Celsius, low 24 degrees Celsius. Tobago, Crown Point, high 29 degrees Celsius, low 25 degrees Celsius. Hourly outlook. Morning 6 a.m. - 11 a.m., cloudy and breezy with scattered light showers. Afternoon 12 p.m. - 4 p.m., highest risk of heavy rain and isolated thunderstorms. Evening 5 p.m. - 9 p.m., conditions settling, though lingering light rain remains possible. Night, partly cloudy and cool with a stray shower. Marine and hazards. Seas, moderate, open water waves 2.0 meters to 2.5 meters. Alerts, spring tides are in effect. Exercise extreme caution at beaches. Localized street flooding and gusty winds are possible near heavy downpours.
Regional news now. 11 families received new homes in Guyana under Lethem Housing Support Initiative. Each of the homes measure approximately 550 square feet and includes 2 bedrooms, a living room, a kitchen area, and a bathroom facility. Valued at about $3 million Guyanese dollars, the homes are made more affordable through a $1 million building materials subsidy provided by the Ministry of Housing and Water. That's 1/3, you know. That's 1/3 of the amount being subsidized. That is really wonderful. For Judith Brown, yesterday marked a truly memorable moment. Just days before celebrating her birthday, she received what she described as the perfect gift, the keys to her very own home. Brown was among 11 families who were handed the keys to their new homes under the government of Guyana's Lethem Housing Support Initiative. The houses were officially presented by Minister of Housing, the Honorable Colin Crowell, in the presence of Regional Housing Officer Ms. Tashana McDonald and staff of the Central Housing and Planning Authority. For another proud beneficiary, Anne Paulino, the day presented the end of years of living with relatives. Your independence now, you're not dependent on anybody anymore. Paulino, a mother of 4 and grandmother, said the new home brings stability and independence to her family. A mother and a grandmother, so she must be really happy to be on her own now. More importantly, she expressed joy at finally having a home she can one day pass on to her grandson, something she described as deeply meaningful for her family's future, because, of course, wherever she was living by whatever relative, it wasn't hers, so she could not be able to put it in a will and say, well, you know, this is going to be left for X, Y, and Z or whoever. So this is, once again, people, the Irfan Ali administration is showing. That is not about campaign gimmicks or anything like that. Genuinely want to serve the people of Guyana, no matter where you are from, or who you are. A new initiative aimed at tackling market access challenges facing small farmers in Jamaica is set to roll out through a 90-day corporate farmers market pilot program spearheaded by Reality Focus Limited. The program was developed in response to long-standing difficulties within the agricultural sector, particularly the challenge small farmers face in securing reliable and consistent markets for their produce. Reality Focus Operations Manager Stephen Richards told the Jamaican Galena. This is wonderful, especially at a time when Jamaica is still struggling a lot to recover from Hurricane Melissa. And we all need to continue praying for them, but not just praying for them. It's wonderful to pray. That's most important. But we need to try to help them out as much as well. If it is I had the financial capabilities, people, I would not just be talking. I would have been sending a little, I mean, I ain't no rich or anything like that, but if I had money, I would have been donating to whichever, foundation and so forth to the people across there so that they could help them to recover as well. There's so many fortunate people here in Trinidad and Tobago and around the world. I keep saying this over and over again. Gaza, the Hamas, receives tons upon tons of humanitarian aid that they keep for themselves and give instead of giving it to the Gazans. Hamas, that's what they do. And a lot of the times they end up selling the aid to the Gazans instead. And what the UN does, continue to give them even more and more and more and more. That's what they do. While trying to just say, but we will lend the money to Jamaica. I'm not saying the UN, but in Europe and wherever, maybe the UN as well. Come on, you're giving to Gaza, you're giving to Hamas, but you want to lend to Jamaica. The Young People's Village at Holders Hill, St. James, Barbados is officially open. The facility, situated on approximately 3 acres, is designed to accommodate 37 young people. The state-of-the-art complex caters to foster children between the ages of 12 and 18. That is wonderful news. I'm telling you, more and more, and it's just about a month now that I've been reporting on news from Barbados. I'm beginning to understand why people continue to vote for Prime Minister Mia Mottley. I don't agree with a lot of her politics. I don't agree with how she promotes globalism. I don't agree with how she's basically against America's war, against narco-terrorism and so forth. She probably doesn't like the war against Iran either. There are issues with her, yes. But when it pertains to governance and serving the people of Barbados, it seems as though she's doing a very good job.
Thank you. This lady has done a hell of a lot of work today. Thank you. And the chairman and the staff, Mr. Walter, thank you.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. She's very beautiful. Closer, no likes.
I love the fact that they have pictures from other parts of the world, which ties into being able to start to make them understand that there's more than this rock.
She's very happy. I put something in there as well.
For more and games. And them learn how to work together and share one thing. There's no great side. This is the 12 to 16 part. So they'll share the grill system, they'll share
color and bright and light.
but the fact that 4 of them are sharing one bathroom and one toilet means they gotta learn to cooperate.
Free National Movement, FNM, like how we have PNM here in Trinidad and Tobago. That by itself, have you wondering, maybe just maybe, then people really shouldn't be doing be in government in Bahamas. But anyhow, Free National Movement Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands in Bahamas has dismissed social media claims suggesting Mount Moriah candidate Marvin Dames is being replaced by Fort Charlotte candidate Travis Robinson. Speaking to Eyewitness News, Sands rejected the report, calling them misinformation. Ooh, really sounding like PNM, boy. The Progressive Liberal Party is desperate, but they went on to say, and will spread all manners of foolishness, he said. Ooh, that sounds just like PNM, eh? When pressed on whether any changes were being considered, Sands said there have been no constituency changes. You know, like how Rowley said, we're not closing down Petruchin, and then they went and do it. Well, maybe just maybe he's talking the truth, eh? I'm now becoming aware of the or gaining knowledge of politics in Bahamas. So who knows? Just like how I ended up changing my mind about Andrew Holness and changing my mind a whole lot about even Mia Motley. Who knows? Maybe just maybe in time to come, if this party wins again within a few months, and I'm seeing that they're actually doing a whole lot of good for Bahamians, then I will change my mind. As a matter of fact, I don't know. I don't know what party to support right now, whether it's them or the other party, but the Progressive Liberal Party. But all I know is that the kind of narratives they're pushing right now sounds like PNM narratives. International news now. A city bus crashed into a popular Washington, D.C. restaurant Saturday morning, smashing into the empty dining room and sending 3 people to the hospital. DC Fire and EMS crews responded to 7th and Q Streets NW after a crash involving a bus and another vehicle, according to the DC Fire and EMS department. The Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority Metro bus crashed into the dining room of the Amber restaurant in the Shore neighborhood, breaching the building and coming to rest inside, which was unoccupied at the time. I hope those 3 individuals fully recover in Jesus' name. Question must be asked, was this an accident or was this intentional? We all know a whole lot of individuals, especially on the left, and the jihadists are committing some serious acts of violence right now in America, and a lot of these are actual terrorist acts as well. So time alone will tell if this was an accident or if this was intentional. 2 relatives of the deceased Iranian Revolutionary Guard, Major General Qasem Soleimani, living in Los Angeles, were taken into custody by federal agents after Secretary of State Marco Rubio revoked their green cards. Officials said Marco Rubio doing an exceptional job. I like him a whole lot more than J.D. Vance. I wish Marco Rubio will become the next president of America. Not J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance doesn't really like Israel that much. Maybe just maybe if he does win, that is why America will stop supporting Israel. Which the Bible didn't say it, but the Bible didn't mention a superpower in the West helping Israel through the Ezekiel 38 war. Hamida Soleimani Ashfar, identified as Soleimani's niece, and her daughter were arrested and are now being held by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, according to an announcement Saturday from the State Department. The Trump administration says Ashfar has been a supporter of Iran's totalitarian terrorist regime, the autocratic, jihadist, extremist, terrorist regime. And you know the thing about it is, while she supports the enforcement of Sharia law in Iran, she was living her life like a liberal in America, dressing normal. She wasn't following Sharia law and covering from head to toe in America. You know, people dressing and enjoying the luxurious life and partying and so forth. I wonder what will happen to her when she returns to Iran now. Will they welcome her with open arms? At the time she returns, maybe, just maybe, there may be actual regime change, so she mightn't end up facing the law across there for violating Sharia law in America. Because from what I know, because they did it to even the athletes and stuff like that. When you return home, you usually face punishment for your deeds. Yesterday, the Israeli Air Force, acting on IDF intelligence, struck infrastructure at the petrochemical complex in Mashasha in southwestern Iran, responsible for producing and exporting chemical materials to the regime's armed forces. As part of the strikes, the IDF targeted a site housing one of two central facilities used to produce materials for explosives, ballistic missile, and additional weaponry. The site is one of the primary locations where a critical component for ballistic missiles are produced. And the damage to this infrastructure is expected to disrupt the regime's ability to use the materials produced at the facility for manufacturing various types of weapons intended to target the state of Israel. The completed strike is part of the ongoing phase aimed at deepening the damage to the core systems and foundations of the Iranian terror Ayatollah regime. As America and Israel continue to say, they are not attempting at this point in time for actual regime change. What they're doing is disabling the terrorist regime, ensuring that they can no longer be able to attack Israel or any other neighboring countries, and definitely they won't be able to attack America either. Now for the interesting facts segment, Japan has over 21,000 7-Eleven locations, making it the brand's largest market worldwide. Visiting one store every day would take nearly 60 years to cover them all, assuming no new ones open. These stores are deeply woven into daily life, offering fresh meals like bento and onigiri, along with essentials like ATMs, bill payments, and ticket booking. Managed by Seven and I Holdings, 7-Eleven in Japan has become far more than a convenience store. It's a key part of everyday living.
Welcome to Real Conservative News Travel Adventures. Galena, Illinois is a premier historic riverside destination in northwest Illinois renowned for its 19th century architecture, rolling hills, and proximity to the Mississippi River. As the start of the Illinois Great River Road, it offers scenic river views, chestnut mountain skiing, charming Main Street shopping, and rich Civil War history, including the Ulysses S. Grant home. Key Galena and Mississippi River highlights. Historic charm. Over 62% of Galena is on the National Historic Register, featuring 19th century buildings, the DeSoto House Hotel and the Belvedere Mansion. The Mississippi River Experience. Located minutes from the river, visitors can experience it via Chestnut Mountain Resort's alpine slide or boat cruises, or by exploring the nearby Mississippi Palisades State Park for panoramic bluff views. Great River Road Trip. Galena serves as the northern starting point for a scenic drive along the Mississippi River, leading to towns like Moline and through dramatic, hilly scenery. Activities. Popular activities include trolley tours, visiting the Grant home, wine tasting, and hiking the Galena River Trail. Boating. The area is part of the America's Great River Itinerary, with options for river cruises. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and we'll see you again tomorrow as our journey around the world continues.
Folks, that brings us to the end of today's news report. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe, most of all, in Jesus' name.